Okay, I want you to think back for just a second. What is the absolutely most captivating, unforgettable presentation you've ever witnessed? Seriously, picture it. Was it the way the speaker just confidently commanded the stage? The deep emotional hit of their story? Or maybe, it was a single profound idea that completely rewired the way you see the world?
Well, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into that exact magic. We're going to distill Jeremy Donovan's brilliant playbook, How to Deliver a TED Talk, into a step-by-step masterclass. Because whether you're pitching to a board of directors, teaching a class, or stepping onto a literal red dot on a stage, we are unlocking the secrets of TED-caliber communication to really help you elevate your message.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap. First, finding your single unifying idea. Second, hooking your audience instantly. Third, the power of storytelling. Fourth, mastering your stage delivery. And finally, the call to action.
All right, starting with section 1, this single unifying idea, finding your core message.
So, if you want to avoid turning your talk into a massive, boring info dump, you need a framework. And this brilliantly illustrates Simon Sinek's famous golden circle. See, most people default to just explaining what they do, but inspiring communication completely reverses this. It starts right at the center, with a why. By anchoring your topic to deep, fundamental human needs, like the desire for belonging, self-interest, personal development, or even hope for the future, you create maximum impact. You aren't just sharing dry facts, you're connecting directly to your audience's core purpose. Now, once you've got that unifying idea, you have to package it. You need a viral catchphrase. Keep it short. Make it punchy, give it rhythm. Between 3 and 12 words is your absolute sweet spot. It should sound almost musical, placing the most impactful, resonant words right at the end. Think of memorable phrases like start with why. And to make this truly stick in the minds of your audience, you're going to want to repeat this carefully crafted catchphrase at least 3 times during your talk. Moving on to section 2, hooking your audience instantly, the critical opening. Picture this. You step onto the stage. The lights glare, you have exactly 20 seconds. Literally, that is it. That is the absolute make-or-break window to capture your audience's attention and transform them from passive listeners into active participants. You absolutely cannot afford to waste a single one of those 20 seconds. So how do you actually capitalize on those precious seconds? Well, the best speakers open with a deeply personal story, a shocking statistic that shatters assumptions, or maybe a question that demands immediate internal reflection. But here is what you absolutely must avoid. Do not open with some cliché quote. Do not pull out your notes and start reading. And please do not spend the first 30 seconds thanking the organizers and the audience. No way. You want to jolt them awake instantly. Let's move to section 3 and see how this builds. The power of storytelling, the emotional journey. Once you've hooked them, logic and facts alone just aren't going to keep them engaged. Facts inform the mind, sure, but emotional resonance, that moves the heart. To do this, you have to show, not just tell. Imagine breathing life into your words so the audience can vividly taste the bitter coffee, feel the gritty, rough texture of the pavement beneath their feet, and hear the sharp, sudden crack of an unexpected obstacle. You need authentic characters who face meaningful dialogue and progressive tension. You're taking your listeners on a visceral journey where they deeply feel the struggle before they ever experience the triumph of the resolution. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how perfectly it exemplifies the goal of audience-centric messaging. Your story shouldn't just be a diary entry about you. It has to serve as a mirror for the audience, inspiring their own personal growth. The stories you tell on stage are meant to help your listeners cast votes for who they want to become. Okay, section 4, mastering your stage delivery. Voice, body, and visuals. A masterfully written story is kind of useless if the execution falls flat. Think about the vast difference between these two personas. The formal lecturer is stiff, hidden securely behind a podium, relying on heavy academic jargon that puts you right to sleep. But the passionate conversationalist, that's someone who talks with you, not at you. When you are up there, you want to use the intimate, enthusiastic tone of a trusted friend sharing a brilliant, exciting secret over dinner. Eliminate the filler words, use the word you frequently to bridge the gap, and let your genuine, unrestrained passion bleed right into your voice. And as for the screen behind you, your slides must support your core message, never distract from it. Prioritize your personal connection with the audience over complex visual aids. You want simple, striking, high-quality images that amplify your words. Strip away those text-heavy paragraphs, kill the generic clip art, and lose the dizzying, excessive animations. When it comes to presentation slides, less is absolutely for sure more. Now, what about getting a laugh? Humor is a phenomenal tool for connection, not just a cheap trick for entertainment. But it needs to be organic and story-driven. You want to root it in surprise, share a self-deprecating moment, or paint an exaggerated reality. In fact, if you want to really nail a comedic moment, you set the expectation, you reinforce the pattern, and then you completely shatter it with a surprising twist. That's the proven magic of the rule of 3.
And that brings us to section 5, the call to action, inspiring the next step.
We've officially reached the climax of your presentation. But as we approach that finale, let's just address the elephant in the room: stage fright. To maintain your composure all the way to the end, Donovan gives us a concrete grounding ritual. Rehearse at least 3 times in a feedback-rich environment. Arrive early to familiarize yourself and own the space. Build rapport with individuals in the audience before you even start speaking. And most importantly, when those nerves spike, use controlled, deliberate pauses. Just slow down. Once you're firmly grounded and ready to wrap up gracefully, your conclusion needs to be absolutely flawless. Signal the end clearly with your language. Let them know we're landing the plane here. Reinforce your central, unifying theme one last time. And whatever you do, do not introduce brand new information at the 11th hour. Tie every single thread back to your opening why. So the crucial point is this: your final moments on stage must leave the audience feeling totally empowered. You can't just leave them emotionally hyped up with nowhere to direct that energy. You have to provide a clear, achievable path forward. Give them an easy, actionable next step, but wrap it in a compelling sense of urgency. Which leaves me with one final vital question for you. We've explored the foundational framework, the emotional storytelling, the authentic delivery, and the visual design. But honestly, none of that matters without your unique spark. What is the single idea you will use to change the world? Don't let your insights stay hidden in the dark. Step up, craft your message, and share it with the world. Thanks too much for joining me on this explainer, and I seriously can't wait to see the powerful ideas you bring to the stage.